Hey guys, what's up? I'm glad to see that you're here. Here's a quick picture of my cats, that way we could just get happy real quick, and we'll jump right into the video, with this video being about seasonal. Everything seasonal that you need to really know. We're going to be talking about a few different items in seasonal. We're going to talk about them real quick. First things first, probably going to be the Atanus elements. These are going to be for your pot piece, right? You want to get your pot piece practically as fast as possible. These are going to be pities towards each pot piece, so you're going to need 300 total in order to get one potion. Or infinite potion, I should say. Next one is going to be Caphras. Caphras are going to be littered everywhere throughout this video. Probably won't be too hard to come by, but some places are better than others. I'll let you know which ones. And we're going to talk about, strangely enough, we're going to talk about voodoo dolls. I'll go over why later on. Another thing that we're going to be talking about is the Forest Furies. We'll get there eventually. So Forest Furies, these are practically always sold out on the market. So if you ever want to get these, you're going to need to farm for them. More than likely. Or you're going to have to put a pre-order down, and it's just going to be a pretty long time until you get it. Next thing we're going to talk about is sealed BMCs. Essentially, these are going to be for your magical shards. You're going to need a good portion of magical shards just for a few things around everywhere. Primarily upgrading your boss gear when you get out of season. Going to be needing quite a bit of those. They go for roughly around 5 mil on the market. They're not extremely expensive, but it's a good thing to have. And last but not least, we're going to be talking about scrolls written in an ancient language. These guys right here. These guys will be able to give you a bunch of memory fragments if you run them with the party. Honestly, getting more of these is going to be better off for you, just because you're going to need them way down the line when you're upgrading Librescas and all that other stuff. So, good thing to hold on to. Our first zone, right? Going to be Fadus. Got good XP. The AP and DP recommended is 120, 180. Drops a ton of Atanus elements. That's probably the main reason why you're going to be here. It has a chance to drop Forest Furies and the voodoo dolls, which I guess I'll share why we want the voodoo dolls in the first place. First off, they drop Narc earrings and all this other good stuff, but the big reasons, right, is actually the spirit stones. The spirit stone fragments. So, you go down over here to Stonetail Horse Ranch. You can get this house, right? It's a horse ranch. It's a horse gear workshop. This is the only place that I'm aware of that allows you to craft Krogdalo's gear. And it's going to require 200 stone fragments. You could always buy the voodoo dolls. It doesn't really matter. They're really cheap on the market. But if you're going to end up crafting your Krogdalo gear, you're going to need a bunch of wind spirit stones if you're going for wind, sea spirit if you're going for sea, earth spirit if you're going for the earth. Each one has a separate buff. I'll go over them in a later video, but this is going to be a big thing that you're going to have to work towards, just because they don't really drop too much per hour. So you'll see in my Altanova over here, I have about 300 water spirits saved up, 150 wind, and I'm going to be grinding out my voodoo dolls relatively shortly. That way I can just get all of it done at once. If you ever want to bring this up and you want to find the location, all you gotta do is hit escape and go to Monster Zone info. If you don't see it on the left there, all you gotta do is type in the search bar and it'll come up for you. Alright, so Fadus is out of the way. By the way, the 8 Tannis elements dropped about like 30 an hour there, apparently. That's what it says on Garmoth.com. Really good website. Highly recommend it. Dropped about 24 Caphras an hour as well. So, Caphras being a big limiter in the later end of the game. They've recently dropped in price. However, it's going to be a constant battle to get more Caphras stones. That way you can upgrade your gear and get more DP later on. Let's head over to our next recommended spot, which is going to be Polly's Forest. Only reason why you want to go here is to get a lot of XP. That's the only reason. Yes, it does drop a Tannis elements. Yes, it does drop Caphras stones and water and voodoo dolls. But honestly, Fadus is probably going to be better off for you. The Caphras roughly drop around 12 per hour here. So don't really recommend it too much. And we're gonna go to Krogdalo Ruins next, being 140 AP, 160 DP. This is probably one of the best grind spots in a seasonal server because you get the sealed black magic crystals, you get a Tannis elements, you get scrolls written in an ancient language, really good for memory fragments, and you get Caphras. On top of all that, you're getting the season drop, the time-filled blackstones, and with the time-filled, if you're already at max gear, you could trade them in for loot scrolls. So, really good place to grind, even at the later end of the game. The Tannis, I believe, was around like 26 drops per hour, and with the Caphras being around 24. So, highly good place. Not to mention the trash here is also 15 in comparison to Fadus, which was 9,000. Next off, I'm only going to recommend one place for pity pieces, and it's going to be Bloodwolf. We have so much going for Krogdalo. I would highly just recommend grinding there for the Tannis elements and doing it that way, instead of going to each location and grinding the pity pieces, or going for the full drop. You obviously can if you want to. I'll have a different video out on that later on. But, only reason why I'm going to recommend Bloodwolf's element here, being 180 at 210, is that you're going to be able to get Cagtanak drops, Caphras, Garmoth scales, and the pity pieces, obviously. The Caphras per hour is actually really low. It's the same as Polly's, around 12 per hour. The Cagtanaks don't drop every hour. It's probably every 2 to 3 hours that it drops. Pity pieces, you get roughly around 6 to 7 an hour. So I would recommend still just going to a Tannis unless you're going for the full drop. The full drop is a big reason why you're here, along with the Garmoth scales. Cagtanaks can be crafted into a Dark Fang Crystal Valor. And if we look on the market real quick, it is currently going for around 420 mil, whereas the armor is going for 300 mil. They are pretty well off in the market, so I don't expect them to constantly stay above the listed price of 429. But it's pretty well off. You got about 25 inside of the market here. Let's go to our next grind spot, shall we? It's gonna be our Centaurs. Centaurs is pretty spread out. It's not the best. You can use Agris on it, which is the only reason why I'm going to include it inside of this. if you want to burn through your Agris, right, it'll give you much more trash per hour. And the trash here costs right around 22,000. And if you're burning Agris with 2 times Loot Scroll, you're getting like 4 per. So it's a good amount of silver per hour if you want to just go through that and to burn straight through it. On top of that, you're going to be getting scrolls written in ancient language and some Kafra stones with some sealed black magic crystals. Don't fret about the Centaurs belts. They sell quite often, but they're really low price, so it's not like they're anything special. The Kafras per hour is right around 20, so it's relatively decent. And as you can see, there is no Atanus here, so it's not the optimal place in my opinion. Also, it's very spread out from everything else, so it's going to be more of a situational grind spot for what character you have. If you're a Valkyrie, I wouldn't recommend playing here, but if you're a Wizard or Musa, it is a viable option. Let's go to the last spot that I will recommend, and that's Mirumok Ruins. This is going to be our first party spot, being at 190 AP, 270 DP. We're kind of getting up there in AP and DP now, so this is why I'm going to end it after this one. But you're going to be getting Atanus elements here, as well as Mass Pure Magic, Krogdalo's Origin Stone, which honestly you can buy these off the market, they're not really that rare. The Forest Fairies, which are going to be really nice to just get. Kafras, Voodoo Dolls, and I think that's roughly it. Oh, you're also going to be getting these artifacts. The artifacts aren't really anything great. They're just accuracy ones. So you can melt these down and you can turn them into light stones. But I will say the Atanus is going to be a big jump for you. The trash here is 18,000, so it's pretty decent, relatively comparable to Centaurs, just a few thousand under. And then the Forest Furies is going to be able to sell for a quick buck, no problem. Also, it's a party grind spot, and it gives really good XP. So I would recommend doing it if you have a couple friends that want to grind, or if you're going to power level a friend and help them out. That's a really good place to bring them as well. Anyways, I hope this video was enlightening to what I would recommend for seasonal servers. Obviously, you could, theoretically, when you're fully penned up, go to Altar Imps Elvia. I personally don't recommend it because you're probably still going for the Infinite Pot potions. And the Atanus elements are going to be much more useful to you. If you end up looking on the market here, if we look at Ornets, it's going for right around 12 bill currently, 11 bill. And if we look at Odors, it's going to be going towards 15.5 bill. So definitely the Atanus elements is what you're going to be looking for. That way you don't have to pay this ludicrous price when you're just starting out. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have any critiques, please leave them in the comment section down below. I am open to them at all times. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.